Hello and welcome to today's podcast, and we are
The Forgotten Truth.
That's right. And today's topic is on
Elon Musk.
All right. Now, explain.
So I am quite the Elon Musk fanatic. I follow most of the things he does, and I like just listening to different things he says. So recently, there's been a controversial purchase on his behalf of Twitter. So this is controversial because he's trying to bring back freedom of speech on this online platform. What do you think about that?
Great. Love it. Since Twitter's board of directors was all liberal, they were censoring conservative people on Twitter.
So you think it was biased?
It was very biased. 100% biased. Censoring anything that's against what they want. Censored, gone, deleted.
Yeah. So one of Elon Musk's famous quotes is that when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds aren't in your favor, which is what he used. He used that quote in his purchasing of Twitter. The odds aren't in his favor because he is someone trying to stand up against a large company and people don't agree with what he did.
Yeah, very nice. All right. He wants Twitter to adhere more closely to the principle of free speech, which is going with that First Amendment. Elon has a lot of control on the market because he's the richest man in the world. He owns Tesla, SpaceX, and a few minor companies. When he tweets something, the market can change. He controls that. He can say whatever he wants about a stock, and it'll boost because everyone loves him, or people don't like him, and then it'll crash. But he has a lot of control of what you can do. Now, what do you think about that? What do you think about the control he has?
Honestly, I don't think that you should be able to have that much control in the market because just like Bitcoin, for example, and Dogecoin, these two cryptocurrencies that were relatively small, they got a shout out by Elon Musk and just made people billionaires in a matter of days. That feels a little wrong and unethical. But what do you think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
I think cryptocurrencies are a waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money.
I don't think they're a waste of money or time, but I think they have a lot of potential. But someone having that much control and affecting them, I think is a little messed up.
Yeah.
Now NFTs, on the other hand, I think are just stupid.
They are.
NFTs are so dumb because you can just take. I mean, yeah, there's now stuff where you can't just take a screenshot of them, but still, you just take a picture with another phone, and it's like you own it, even though you don't. It's an online picture that's worth millions.
Yeah. Now, Elon made his fortune by adhering to principles that are generally accepted, like owning Tesla and SpaceX. He's been getting major donations from NASA for SpaceX for their explorations, and in Tesla, major company has been blown up in the 2010s and 2020s. What do you think about how much he's boomed and how much money he's made in the past decade?
Well, really not decade, really just 3 years. I mean, when you go back and look at Tesla's stock, which is his main fortune, in 2020, it was like 200 to 300 a share. And now, before he purchased Twitter and sold a lot of his stocks, it was at like 1,200, and he owns 1.45 million shares of Tesla. So it's insane. He is very, very rich.
Mm-hmm. Now, he got his fortune a long time ago because he sold PayPal he sold PayPal. Didn't he sell it for like 220 million?
Something around that. It seems like a lot of money, but compared to what he makes now,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's pocket change.
And he pulled a Batman on this Twitter and said, "I'm gonna buy it." He bought the bank. That's what Batman said. All right.
So, do you think his purchase will actually help Twitter become less biased?
I do. Yes, very. Because he is an independent. He has not gone either way, Republican or Democrat. So I think he's gonna do a very good job about keeping it all centered around free speech, keeping everyone on the line. Not going this way, not going that way, but he's gonna do whatever they want. He's gonna let anything pass unless it's like inappropriate for like other things. Like
Do you think doing things like this on Twitter will help America's division come back together, because we are so divided nowadays. If you're liberal or if you're conservative or if you're Democrat or Republican, everybody's divided now.
I feel like that just happened with, or not just happened, but 2 years ago with the Trump and Biden election. That is when it, or actually going back to the Hillary and Trump election, that kind of split. That kind of made everyone go really left or everyone go really right. There's not really a middle unless you're an independent like Elon Musk. And that's why I think he's going to do such a good job, because he has he's more economically conservative, because he likes market. He likes buying bulk, like not the government not having a lot of restrictions on one business. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of control on that one business, but he's more what's he more Democrat about? Like what
Socially, he's socially liberal and economically conservative.
Explain that. Explain socially liberal.
So he thinks that, I mean, him being rich, most rich people, like insanely rich people like Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, both of them have shown that they are very tipped towards the left side. And that's where Elon is good, because he's in that middle ground. But when he says he's socially liberal, that just means that he wants, like, he's okay with the government giving people below the poverty line more benefits, which has its good intentions and its bad ones.
How is him buying Twitter already affected the economy in just a month and a half, I think? A month?
Yeah, about a month.
A month after he bought it.
I mean, the market's done all right, but this Ukraine stuff isn't helping. Like, just recently, I mean, last week, the market's just tanked.
Mm-hmm. And also because Russia's withholding all trade with fertilizer, wheat,
Mm-hmm.
so bread and any produce is going to go through the roof. And obviously gas is a very big problem, because Russia is literally Europe's gas station. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
It has that major pipeline right next to that border, and since there's no trade, it's going way up. And Joe Biden did open the reserves, but I feel like that was, I was kind of wanting him to do that so gas prices would go down.
He needs to open the pipeline.
But now we won't. But now we won't have we won't have oil in the reserve for when something bad happens to our country.
If we go to war, for example.
Yes. Do you think it is right for a man as powerful as Elon to be in charge of one of the biggest social media sites?
I think it is okay, because, I mean, you think about every other social media site, it's usually not one person in its head, but things like Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, he's pretty much guiding Facebook into this like new quote unquote metaverse, which, I mean, when he launched that, Facebook's stock like dropped like 70%. But so people like him, well, I remember a couple of years ago too, he just deleted himself from the internet. He just stopped doing stuff on the internet because of people hating on him. Hate on the internet is a very big problem.
It is, yeah. Do you think he will unban Trump? Because that is a very controversial question right now.
Well, today he said that he is guiding in that. He's saying that he'll most likely unban Trump because the reason he was banned wasn't a solid reason. I mean, yeah, he'd make controversial tweets, but that's the point of freedom of speech. You should be able to express your opinion. In a private business, before he owned it, I mean, Twitter could really do, I mean, it might not be right, but Twitter could ban Trump if they wanted to. It's their service. It's their private company.
But that's why Elon bought it, because they're censoring people that were using their free speech.
So, do you think, I mean, how do you feel about Trump getting unbanned?
I'm all for it. I feel like he should be unbanned because that is his free speech, and if it offends people, that is their problem, and they don't have to listen to it. They don't have to do anything with that. If they don't like Trump, don't vote for him. But they're coming out and making fun of him. That's just not right. Like making fun of people is not right. Bullying.
Hate's never the answer.
Hate's never the answer. But yeah, I think it's a very good idea that bring all the people back, and yeah.
What do you think about Truth Social?
Now, I'm not 18, so I can't, or is it 21 or 18?
I think it's 18.
18. I'm not 18, so I don't really know much about it, but I do know that Trump is on that, and I feel like he's gonna do all right running that.
We'll see.
But it's not very popular
Yeah.
because not many people that would want it is 18.
And Truth Social, that's one of the things. I mean, really, that 18 restriction, I mean, that wasn't helping them at all, even from the start, because think about social media's main demographic, like Instagram or YouTube. I don't know this exactly, but I'd say at least 60% is kids under 18. But how do you feel about, I mean, Truth Social really is very, very biased when you think about it. Truth Social is it's run by Trump and his administration, kind of.
Yeah, but that's not.
Don't you think that's a little messed up?
No.
There might be the exact same problem, but
it
on
is
the
called
opposite
Truth
side.
Social.
Yeah.
It is going to.
I mean, just like our podcast.
It hasn't been popular, so they haven't had many people
I'm not
on
really
that
talking
platform.
about like it being popular. I'm just saying.
I know. Let me finish. It's not that popular because not many people are on that platform, which isn't creating these problems about going left or going right. So, but if it gets popular and there are some of those problems, I think he's gonna let it go because that's what it is. He created a social media where you can have freedom of speech because he was made off of Twitter. He created another one where you can have free speech. That's why he created it.
Yeah. Do you think that it's going to have the exact same problem as Twitter did, just the opposite side? I mean, if liberals, let's say
if that does happen, he's just going to get backlash. He's going to say he's a hypocrite.
Trump gets backlash for everything.
That's what I'm saying. But he's going to be called a hypocrite, and then he might change, he might not. But I don't think he will do that because he's going to start off good, like Twitter was not for many, many, many years.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is that it's pretty much the opposite of Twitter because it's going to be run by full conservatives who might or might not just ban different people with different beliefs.
Yes.
Hopefully they don't. I mean, I don't know if they are doing that, but
they're not
really,
because Trump created it to have freedom of speech. Okay. That is why he created it. Because he came out, he was like, after he was banned on Twitter, he said that he's going to create a new social media, and then like a year later, or how many years ago?
Oh, it took a while.
It's been a while.
It took him a while.
It has been a while, but he's finally done it, and I think he's going to do well with running that.
So, how do you feel? This isn't really completely on topic, but with SpaceX, do you think SpaceX is the future over NASA?
I don't know much about SpaceX because I don't really follow space, but I've seen some things, and it's how it's very popular and how much it's doing. But these goals that they have in the 2020s, like in 3 years, I think he wants to put life on Mars. Like
2025.
I don't think that is popular. I don't think that's possible, and I mean it's probably possible to get life on Mars, but not in 3 years. But he might. He has a lot of money, like we said at the beginning, but I don't know.
Do you think that SpaceX will kind of replace NASA? Because I mean,
No,
if you go back 60 years ago and we're doing all these things on the moon, NASA, of course, was leading the world in moon exploration. I mean, mainly because of our diplomatic issues with Russia, the Soviet Union. But I think that SpaceX is just gonna. I mean, NASA's funding has been cut dramatically, and they are donating and funding SpaceX right now. I mean, Elon Musk is paying a lot, but NASA is donating them to send up those rockets. I do not think NASA will be overrun, not overrun, but diminished because of SpaceX. I don't know. I have a very strong prediction that NASA will stay because that is a government organization for space exploration. Okay. Now, how do you feel about NASA not really... they're doing all kinds of stuff, but nothing that's making the headlines or making people want more money sent to NASA. I mean, they're not doing anything in space anymore, really.
Space exploration is a very slow industry.
There has been
large amounts of money.
When you think about it, in 10 years, we went from having people in space to having people on the moon. In 10 years, and we had technology from 60 years ago.
We're not seeing.
So why isn't NASA putting more things on the moon?
They're going to. They have a plan to put people on the moon, to land it. Yeah, and I think that they're not really focusing on these like test runs that they're doing right now. Elon Musk SpaceX is doing test runs, is because of recently COVID was a very big outlet. The war in Ukraine, just the election of Biden and what he's doing, inflation. That's a very big
Computer chips, dude.
Yeah.
Expenses with computer chips is insane.
Imports,
A lot of
exports from every other
companies
country.
are getting hit hard by the computer chip shortage. Well, that's all we got for you today on Forgotten Truth. We are very glad you came here to watch our video and are looking forward to you coming back next time.
Next time, we are going to talk about if Biden's promises have held up today. I'll see you later.